Okay, so rule 2050 still valid. I hear 2050 vision for normalized glasses. Okay, so that's an awesome question. Part of the challenge with myopia is the further you go back, more you're looking at tools and ideas and answers based on the experience level at the time, right? Like 20 years ago, I didn't know anything, right? Like I went from a -5 diopter to a -3 diopter, and I wore those until I could see with them. It was a terrible idea, right? So all the things that you're finding now today on myopia is really the result of a lot of time having passed and having done a lot of stupid stuff. First me, and then lots of other people. The reason I'm saying this, I was trying to figure out what do I need to see indoors on an eye chart with my normalized. So when I go outside, my vision is good, but with a little bit of blur challenge, which should also be your quest, right? Like ideally you have the eye chart outside, but for example, like I was living in apartments and stuff, so that wasn't really convenient to have an eye chart outside. So I'm like, okay, so I'm going to go inside, I'm going to look at this, I'm going to see what line I can read, 2050, and when I go outside, it's like 2030. I don't know. It's enough to where I'm like, I can read license plate, I can recognize faces, I can see when people are looking at me. That's good. That was at the time 2050-ish. And I thought that was good, right? Like, and for the time, that was a good answer. What I'm saying today is do what I did instead of using my result from at the time. The eye chart is a translator. Like the eye chart will just, it's just a handy tool that you don't have to go outside, wander around and look at car license plates and figure out diopters. You just have the thing inside that translated for you, that you used in that context one point. You're like, 2050 in this lighting translates to me seeing fine outside. Use the eye chart for yourself as a translator and figure out what that number is, what line that is for you. And spoiler alert, since then, I'm based on having put that out there, and I have no choice, right? Because at the time, that was the best possible answer. Is a fair amount of the feedback was that's not enough for me, right? And I smile because what did Jakey know back then? But you're avoiding a lot of these discovery processes by using our experience. I need to find where the 2050 thing is and get rid of it. Another problem with the site and stuff is just there's over 1,000 posts. Right? So it's freaking difficult to dig through old stuff, and I don't want to delete it, certainly, but there's a lot of things in there that are slightly outdated. So as a general rule, the further back you go in the date range, there's a chronological order. If you just click the blog link, it just goes chronologically backwards. The further back you go in time, the more it's like, well, that worked then.
Meow, 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 meow. Meow.